What do you think?
Oh, very nice.
It's very cool, babe, but that's nothing. What do you think?
Nice.
All aboard!
Outdoor service owners, rise and shine. It's time to start fueling your success one adventure at a time. Welcome to Outdoors the Entrepreneur, brought to you by Big Tuna Websites, where business owners explore and talk about ways to take charge and level up. Today, we are talking about the importance of having recurring services in your portfolio plan. We are your hosts. I'm Kevin Fontaine, and this is my badass bro, Patrick Harders. Join us on this journey every Wednesday. Like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube channel, and listen to wherever you get your podcast. And follow us on our social media platforms at outdoorsyboss. What's been going on, Pat?
Hey, Kevin. Getting ready for wrestling tournaments. So season's kicking up, even though, I grew up, we just did wrestling season. Now off season is bigger than pre. So getting my son ready for his first time cutting weight.
Damn.
Big tournament this weekend. And I tried getting on the mat. It's been a little while and forgot how painful wrestling is.
Do you guys check for oil, that move where you put the thumb up their ass? Have you ever heard of that one?
I have not done that.
Yeah, the top position can literally put his thumb in their ass to make them squirm and move so they can get a better position. Your son will know about it. It's called changing oil, baby.
Never did that. No.
But so is he wearing like the rubber suit and everything to?
No, he just wore like 3 sets of sweat. He's got to cut like 11 pounds. So he wore like 3 sets of sweatshirts and he was dying last night, but it's all good. He's on weight, all ready to go, geared up.
Sweet,
had to go
dude.
through my, what is Safe Coach or whatever. If anybody's in coaching, they know it's like 6 hour, or probably an hour and a half of watching stupid videos of not harassing, doing all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
Things have changed since 1990.
No doubt, man. Well, good luck to him.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So today, guys, we're talking about recurring services and the importance that you think about and expand upon those in your own home service business. Me doing landscaping and Pat doing outdoor lighting. You may do something else as a trade, but there's so many avenues to take where you can select a recurring service, expand upon that, and grow that in revenue and quantity.
Yeah.
Because it's really important. Pat, have you ever done much recurring?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the struggles. I'm in a business that doesn't lend itself great to reoccurring service, and we go after big installs. But like when you go to sell a business, like you're building and scaling your business and you want to sell it at some point, it's going to be the reoccurring revenue that gets you the money. So,
Yep.
For us, we had to come up with kind of great incentives. Like lighting does need somebody maintaining it and someone coming out. And so, we try and offer service packages and doing everything like that. But it's not like if you're cutting grass, that is just reoccurring revenue all the time.
All the time, yeah.
I worked in a mosquito company for years, and that one lends itself well, and they were smart to figure out to get prepaid for the recurring revenue, and then automatic renewals and things like that made a big difference. But in lighting, it's something we really had to figure out ways to get that reoccurring service. And even if it's, a couple $100 a year, you start adding that up to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 customers, and it turns into real money at some point.
Yeah. And I guess that number one, the benefit of having a recurring service is that predictable income, right? So
Yeah.
once you sell that customer on, say, a one-time install, prepare a recurring service of some sort that'll complement your one-time jobs, maintenance, protection, cleaning, resealing, whatever that is, and then offer that in your salesmanship with the one-time. And then at the end of that sale, say, hey, by the way, don't forget about this recurring plan we have. And that's going to create predictable income because you've already sold them. You don't have to sell them again. And, it could be only, Pat, $20 here, $40 here, $200 there.
Yeah.
But it adds up. It's very small, incremental, guaranteed plans and services that you schedule accordingly throughout the year. And, landscape maintenance, like you mentioned, is huge. Mowing, it's every week, every 2 weeks. So you can count on that. But I would venture to say you'd even have to think about other recurring services if you are a lawnmower guy, because the off season and, the seasonality of lawn mowing, grass stops growing typically what in Virginia, Pat, like October?
This year is June.
June. Because of the
No rain. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, he come out and he's like, I was talking to my guy today who's cutting the grass, a young guy that, is really getting his business going, and I'm helping and trying to do what I can to help him. But, he's like, your grass didn't grow this week. So he went through, did edging, trimmed some bushes up, trimmed a tree up, like,
Other things.
yeah, I don't have we've got, 8 acres of grass to cut or something like that. So, no irrigation system on that thing. So it's just like, if it doesn't rain for a month, there's no grass growing.
Right.
So it's like, you could either drive out here and don't make any money, or, what else can you do? And, he spent an hour just getting some stuff done around the house that he would have been cutting. And, then he could bill me 70% of what I would have paid anyway to cut the grass. So
yeah. And
you have to be smart on it.
Right. And, that recurring service is a good bridge over the off season, right? So if you're lawn mowing and the grass stops growing, what are you going to do in those off season dormancy months? So think about fertility plans, think about pruning plans, mulching plans, planting, hardscaping, et cetera, that you can bridge that gap of seasonality to keep you busy, keep your guys busy all throughout the year. Pat, a big thing that we moved from being lawnmower man, we evolved into a full service landscape contracting firm. And that took years to do. It took getting my license for contracting, going to plant ID school, getting my certification, NC Plantsman, it's called here in North Carolina. But, keep adding, say you're a first, second, fifth year guy owning a home contracting service, use that first dormancy period to get your education and go to schooling and get certifications and special licensing, so you can then learn and learn to bring that new add-on service onto your firm.
Yeah. I had a good friend who is a designer. He designed patios like you do. But that's all he did. And he did it for 30 years. He went to go sell his business, and there's really nothing to sell at that point, because it's all just installation, design, install. And he's the designer. And, you assume somebody would want to take over, but he didn't have anything to go back to sell customers.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a rude awakening, that if you're not planning that, hey, I have 2,000 customers I've worked with, and we go back every year and reseal the patio, pull the weeds, do whatever, like things like that you can offer. And lighting was like that too, where I needed to come up with plans that, we're going out and touching those customers. And the big thing it does is keeping me in contact, because if you're in a business like I am, if I go and do an install and then walk away from it, that customer is going to have, someone else put in some other lights, the pool guy, whoever. I'm not their guy. So it's like
top of mind. Yeah.
Yeah. That reoccurring service, if you're not offering it, the people forget about you, because you might have done an amazing job, but they haven't heard from you for 5 years.
That's exactly right. So you stay in the customer's mind if you're there every quarter, every few months, whatever it is. So you can sell them again. They'll have new projects down the line as well. So farming your existing customers with like an email, constant contact, MailChimp campaign, keeping them with topics and staying in touch with them, checking, hey, how are we doing? That's always great to get that next job, that next work. Another thing, so you got predictable income, you got customer retention, because they're going to be more loyal to you if you have an ongoing relationship. And then that staff retention, you're able to keep your guys busy during the off seasons, keep yourself busy if you're a chuck in the truck, more work. Think about those. Another thing, Pat, big on Facebook groups like Launchpreneur and all those other landscape related groups on Facebook. They ask a lot of questions about, hey, what do you think about me adding on a hardscaping division or irrigation division, et cetera? And a lot of times I'll chime in and say, well, start with your core service or services, get those to about 80% efficiency and pricing, and you're making a profit on it, you're tracking. once you get that core service or services down to 80% of efficiencies and you're happy with it, then select one extra service. Hardscaping, doesn't matter. Try that, learn that, and bring it on and slowly offer that out to your existing clientele or your marketing, and then work that up to 80% efficiencies and profitability. You can count on that your guys know it now. Okay, boom, now go to that second and third add-on service once you know it.
Yeah, and I think you have to go all in on that. So, I mean, it's basically you're setting up a separate business. Like you did something that a lot of people haven't done in the industry. Like you added lighting, which a lot of guys will put lighting into their business because it's a great add-on. But you went in and did it right. You and I did training courses together. You partnered with good manufacturers to be a little outside the box and not just run up to Site One and buy whatever crap they have.
Right.
And then, really threw yourself fully into it to become a lighting designer. So it's like whatever you're doing, if you're building patios, you're talking to people, you're building classes, and you could find out like, I'm not equipped to do this. Like you may get into lighting or you get into building patios, and that's where you look for trade partners to say, I'll refer you, get 10% or 5% of your job. You refer me, let's build our businesses up together. Cause, that's kind of just making that decision. But it's great to find if you're in a business that's only reoccurring, you don't get the big checks coming in. If you're in a business that's just design, you're not getting that reoccurring. So it's like, how do you kind of blend those together to get the two, get the best of both? Yeah.
Now in lawn and landscape, I've always been a big believer in stay heavier on recurring than you are one time, because one time is a challenge. It's a different monster to manage, perform. You got to have special equipment, heavy trucks. You got to get all kinds of materials delivered. It rains. And so it's a lot more challenging to choreograph installations, but they do give you that big hit of revenue if you've performed it properly and made a good profit from it. And I've found, Pat, too, it's a wrench thrower, those one times. Cause like we had an install of a new car dealership in Smithfield. And we had lighting, we had a putting green to put in, we had plants, sod, and traffic. It was like an hour away, and it took us about a month to do it, like 4 weeks of everyday traffic, 1 hour windshield time each way. And we didn't think about, some days is going to be heavier than others, because we accounted for travel time in our bid. But there was a lot of heavier days that we got stuck in traffic, and your guys are on the clock. You cannot not pay them. So we actually barely made anything on that big, huge install because of this eater of time in the truck. So
I had a good friend who was in the mosquito control business, and he was so excited. First year, did like 400,000 or 500,000. On top of the world, send out an email to his customers like, hey, I'd like you to do, I'd like to offer these other services. And he's like, which one would you be most interested? Just getting back to his customers. And the first response he got was someone that wrote, why don't you get good at mosquito control before you offer me something? And he's like,
I've heard that.
That was a humbling thing to hear.
There you go.
So you have to be good at your core.
Yes, sir. Yeah. We've gotten that before too. Hey, we're starting lighting this month. Call us to get on your lighting schedule. And they'd say, yeah, do a better job at lawn care first before I buy anything else from you, pal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten that.
So let's say like you built patios. What would you do? This is just an example of the challenge. What would you do to offer a reoccurring service on a patio? You did a paver patio in someone's backyard. It's beautiful, looks great the first year.
Yep.
What are you doing to come back to the customer to say, hey, for $200, we'll do what?
Well, you want to clean it. You want to power wash it. And believe it or not, the polymeric sand in between the joints, if it's pavers or blocks, will have polymeric sand that weathers and runs out over time. So that's more of a 5-year, 4-year type service where you got to redo all the lines out and new polymeric sand. But definitely cleaning once a year or every 6 months, getting that new power wash on it.
Yep.
Power washers are cheap. You can have one in the shop. You're not putting out much chemical in it. A lot of these new power washers have that cool soap bin dispenser where it
Yeah.
automatically feeds your soap or a cleaner. That's one thing I would do because, especially Pat, if it's in a shady location,
Yeah.
they get mold and mildew and algae. Just like on a north face of a house on your siding, you'll get that algae buildup every
Yep.
year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would think about what else besides that can I hit them up with? Maybe it's gutter cleaning. Hey, let me come in there every 6 months. We're going to power wash your patio, clean it, and then do your gutters from the leaves. I would think about any kind of similar add-on that's easy to add and easy to train up your guys and easy to perform for that little nice bits of revenue that you can do now every 6 months if you're just doing hardscaping.
Yeah.
And then you've got, because a lot of hardscape guys, they don't like to plant. They don't like plants. They like dead shit.
Yeah.
It's a piece of concrete.
They're not getting a call in 3 months ago. My crepe myrtle is wilting. My river birch
Oh my
dead.
God. We've got so many replacements on schedule for next month from the spring.
Yep.
It is such a pain in the arse to do planting. If you guarantee your plants. If you don't guarantee your plants, then you're fine. But dummy me, I've got like this 6-month window where we'll guarantee anything that dies. And now irrigation, of course, you got ongoing maintenance, lighting. You can have ongoing maintenance plans to clean, adjust, ant bait, prune away obstructions, maybe move fixture heads, both irrigation and lighting. Your landscape grows and trees grow out, etc. So a lot of times heads will get covered up with shrubs that need to be moved out again.
Yep.
And stuff like that.
The patio thing you spoke about, like most patio guys aren't thinking about like, hey, now I have this customer. So now I want to continue to provide service. And what happens is patio looks like crap in 3 years because it's got mold on it, some sand, a block kind of dripped down. So offering that, it's like, hey, first year I'm going to do a full inspection, and we offer a power wash on it. It's $199, 200, whatever it is. But at that time is where you could say, have you ever thought of the original design? We had X. We could go ahead and, add this. Like for us in lighting, we have our guys going out. We do a free 6-month checkup, and then we put them on a maintenance plan. Yeah. And it's like, hey, we'll clean all the fixtures, clean the glass off. That needs to be done. Check the transformer, check your timing system. And our whole purpose of doing that is not only to keep things looking great, move lights if we need to, but then offer, finishing off the lighting plan. Because we almost never do we get it all done at one point. The sticker shock is too much and just too crazy. So, technicians can sell the crap out of add-ons like that. Yeah. Better than a salesperson.
Well, that's a great idea. So we do similar, Pat, is if you do a one-time service and you're trying to introduce a recurring service, give them a discount or do it for free that first time.
Yeah.
That's going to introduce them into that new service you have. Hey, all one-time clients, put out an APB or an email. We've got a special on our new service called whatever, and we want you to try it. We think you're going to love it because always talk about the solution it provides, right? And we love this. Customers, we're getting great feedback from it. You want to rave it up and make sure you've got a cool call to action. Sign up by X and get this off or free or whatever. But that introduces them to that service, right? So then they get familiar. Oh, I think I need this now because I like the after effects of what you did there. Even with lighting, you can, with that Sheila shine and that finishing material on those copper and brass fixtures, you're cleaning them, making them polished looking, and people see, wow.
Yeah, CLR on the glass, cleaning the glass off, cleaning the transformer. All those little things that like you're not going to think about. Or when I'm out there, I'm going to see maybe a light went out and I could go ahead and take care of that.
Boom. Now, creating attractive bundles, right, for your service offerings is a good way to add not only recurring services and revenue, but you're starting to niche up now. So if you start having these packages, it makes things look a lot shinier and brighter. And oftentimes we can add more revenue inside that package because now we're adding specialty services into a boring anybody can do service. For instance, say you do irrigation, you put in a system or you've repaired a system. Now you're offering maintenance. Boom. Also drop in the hat, backflow certification. Say, you know, a plumber, or you are a plumber certified. You can now start offering, certifying the backflows once a year at a big time hit price.
Yeah.
And now that's going to start driving your per hour up. So you're starting to niche up, setting yourself apart from your competition and creating these nicer packages to sell to your customers. And that works really well. And like I mentioned before, Pat, that was how I was able to get out of the mower, out of the truck as a mow, blow, go guy, by creating these attractive packages. Because another thing too is people don't like to call on 6 or 7 different contractors for their outdoor care. They'd much rather hire 1 or 2 that understands their property, and you building that relationship and your customer service is very high and strong. They would much rather hire you to do all the services that you offer than them having to worry about this, that, or the other. So,
Yeah. And I find it interesting, like when you start getting into working with very wealthy people, you know, they want to have someone there. So, you know, one of the biggest landscape companies in our area, they offer the service like, hey, I don't know what's going to be needed, but you could sign a contract that once a week, my guys are going to be at your house. And it's just like basically acting like a gardener. So it's like, you know, they're coming out, they're going to be pruning, you know, they're going to take care of leaf removal, but it's just like they're signing a contract like, hey, you get 2 guys 1 day a week or once a month, and they're going to do odds and ends to get, I mean, so I don't know if you've ever gone down that route, but you know, if you're in a very large property, they'll have a full-time management team that's managing a property.
Yeah, they do.
And so maybe someone doesn't want to make that much of a commitment. They're the step below that. So maybe somebody's saying, I can afford 2 guys at your house and it'll be, you know, whatever, $2,000 a day to spend all day there, $1,600 a day.
Yeah.
But they'll do all the little detail work, and, you know, we'll stay on top of that, and we'll basically be like a, you know, a gardener on your property.
But, you know, leveraging technology, you know, say House Call Pro, any field service software you guys use, now that recurring service can be automated, plugged into a schedule that's going to auto-populate every month or whatever your intervals are. Leverage your technology. There's a lot of software out there. You can even, I don't know, there's a lot of free ones too, Pat. I guess Google has Calendar, and you can build in automations and tag people, share with others there too. So you don't have to buy into a technology if you're, you know, small, you know, you don't have a lot of revenue, but consider that as you're growing, because it's going to make things so much easier. It's automated. I know in lighting, Pat, we have recurring maintenance plans, and I just plug them in. If they're twice a year, boom, I go ahead and pre-populate and build in the automation in House Call Pro that, hey, this is never ending. So I don't have to worry about it every year to populate 2 more visits. And like you mentioned, there is bulbs that go out. And if we're there, and we tell clients, if we're there doing your maintenance visit, you're just paying for the cost of that lamp.
Yeah.
There is no travel fee, setup, labor, because that's our benefit to you for signing up for recurring. You are now going to get essentially a discounted rate on labor for having to change a lamp out or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
and I think looking for those opportunities that aren't competing with your time. So like if you're cutting grass, like April, May are just grass is growing like crazy. And if you start another business that's going to be competing in April and May, you're just like, you know, so if you're cutting grass, you know, leaf removal is one business, because by the time the grass is dying out, the leaves need to be taken. You know, Christmas lighting is a great opportunity for people. You know, you just have to understand you're throwing your guys on ladders.
Yeah.
I did plowing for a while, and it's a good business. It's a transmission every 2 years. So you got to put in all of that. Late nights, you know, you become a psychopath if you're a plow guy.
Oh yeah. That's a tough run right there. Talk about OT.
Yeah. But something like Christmas lighting in your area, like personally, I don't like the business of Christmas lighting.
Right.
But I've got friends that are doing, you know, $1 million plus, $1.5 million
Wow.
in Christmas lighting. And so from October through February, that's building their business. So if they're doing lawn care, and you get those months where you could add $500,000, $800,000 in revenue, and that's reoccurring every year.
Yeah.
That's a great add-on business. And
Yep.
but I think you go back to like, are you good at what you do? And then if you're going to get into the second thing, are you going to take the time to become great at that?
Great at what you do there as
not
well.
just like, yeah, I'll throw in lighting and I'll throw in irrigation and I'll do some planting, and you're not good at anything, and you're
Jack of all trades.
Yep.
And you suck at almost all of them.
Yep. You don't want to go down that road.
No, because as you guys may or may not know, me and Patrick own a couple companies each, have been for over 20 years. And our big belief is always don't be a generic, one size fits everybody. We're a low price matcher, volumes the way we go. No, it's less volume, hiring clients, bigger profits, niche service, excellent. One of the best at what we do in our area. And that's took a long time to get there. But, so recurring service, think about it. Start investigating what some things you can add on that are recurring, where you can touch those customers a few times a year after that one and done's finished, and really drive up your revenue and make things more sustainable for your company. Off season, you're getting coverage there, so you don't have to lay off a ton of people. And always go back, Pat, to focusing on that customer experience. Don't let them down, because if you've added on a service and now you're stretched too thin and you can't even get the first one done right, customers are going to leave you. Yeah. So then you end up losing both services because you tried to add another one. So be careful, low and slow.
Just do everything as well as you can. Try and be the best at what you're doing. Offer and deliver that high-end experience. I'd say customer experience is king. Like, you're answering the phone, you're getting back to people. All those little things are what people are going to enjoy working with you, and then they'll give you more opportunities to do other things. So, but it is a challenge to go, I built a patio, how do I get more business? Or I put in a $20,000 lighting system. Well, I don't want to just be done with that customer, and I shouldn't be. So, the growth with that customer. Like, I want to have a 20-year lifespan with a customer, not a one and done and get out.
And another thing that all this adds up to is you'll get to a point of, oh my God, I need customers every day, to, I really don't need a customer tomorrow because I've built up enough recurring customers that pepper me all year with little projects because we stay in touch. So I'm at a point where I haven't been advertising at all for, I don't think, 2.5, 3 years.
That's good.
So I just get organic is enough for me, because I've set up this big recurring platform, and they ask me for one-time services now here and there, and that adds up. So you'll get to a point where you don't need to advertise anymore because you built up such a good name, recognition, online presence. That's all free. And you won't have to advertise much anymore. So,
well, if you don't do the recurring, you're never going to be able to stop advertising.
That's right.
Because you always have to go after that next job.
That's right.
I mean, you finish a $30,000 project, and the next thing's like, what are we doing tomorrow? So
I don't know, boss.
Yep. And
it's
when
like
you
a realtor, they have one client, they sell them a house. Now what? They need another customer. So, all right, guys. Well, that wraps up this episode. Let us know any questions you have for me or Pat, or anything you're doing to up your recurring service game. Make sure you subscribe to the Outdoorsy Entrepreneur YouTube channel and hit those notifications, and listen to wherever you get your podcasts, and follow us on our social media platform at Outdoorsy Boss. Big tools we use and highly recommend. Big Tuna websites, brother. They are incredible. They have a low cost, monthly, no contract plan. Beautiful websites that change to your phones, etc. House Call Pro. Amazing software I've been using for many years as well, where you can sign up for a special Outdoorsy Entrepreneur viewer discount. So check that out. And big thanks to everybody listening and watching. And hope everybody's Wednesday's kicking ass and taking names. So we'll see you guys in the next episode.
All aboard!